Hey, I'm Tammy. Have you ever come down south and had somebody call you honey? Maybe at a cafe or something? Well, this is a honey bun cake, and boy, is it good. So this Valentine's Day, make your honey a honey bun cake, or any time of the year. This is in our 4th cookbook, and we're going to get started. All right, this is one of my favorite cakes. It's called the honey bun cake. What a perfect time to make it this time of year. You could make it for Valentine's Day because it's a honey bun cake for your honey. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is reserve a little bit of our cake mix. You're going to use a golden butter cake mix, Duncan Hines. You're going to reserve a 1/2 cup of your cake mix for a cinnamon layer, like a cinnamon topping layer. I don't want to get too much of it. Just 1/2 cup is all you need. So you go ahead and reserve that before you start, okay? You're going to be using 8 ounces of sour cream, 1 butter cake mix, Duncan Hines. You're going to be using a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of chopped pecans, vanilla, cinnamon, 2 teaspoons, 4 eggs, and 2 sticks of butter. Now I'm using salted butter. That's what I always use. We're going to start out and we're going to beat the butter until it's light and fluffy. Alrighty. Now you're going to use 8 ounces of sour cream. This is a 16-ounce container, so I'm going to use about half of it. 4 eggs, large eggs. Your cake mix. Here, let me get it out. This recipe is in our 4th cookbook. It's on page 78. Simple to make, and boy, is it good. All right, we're going to mix up our batter. This is the cake batter. Already sounds good. 2 sticks of butter, sour cream. I'm going to turn it up to medium, and I'm going to beat it just a couple of minutes. On a medium speed. If you don't want to go round and round, you can just rotate your bowl. All right. That should do it. Looks good. It's a cake mix. We're going to spray a 13 by 9 by 2 inch baking pan. Quarter sheets, what it's called. And you want to use baking spray, the kind that has the flour. If you don't have that, then just grease it and flour it like your mama did with shortening and flour. All right, we're going to use half the batter on the bottom and half the batter on the top for the rest of it. So you can go ahead and put you a layer on the bottom. Try to get it evenly spread out. And it might take you a minute to really do a good job. And if you're not so good at it, I'm going to show you what you can do. You can pick it up and beat it so it kind of levels it out across the pan. However you want to do it. But you might splatter it a little bit like I did. Now you're going to take your reserved cake mix. And remember that was a 1/2 cup. You're going to add a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And I'm going to mix this together real good. And we're going to put it on the pan, and we're going to put it in between the 2 layers of cake. Now, it tells you to go ahead and add your nuts, but I'm just going to sprinkle the nuts on there, and that way I get them evenly distributed. And it'd be harder to mix this up if it had nuts in it. Let me get me another spatula, kind of blend it better. So this goes in the middle. This is a good cake. One of my very favorites. I would love to have one of these from my honey on Valentine's Day or any day. I love cinnamon. So that helps explain why I love this cake so much, I guess. So try to get it in there evenly. It's good to me. All right. And then you're going to put your pecans on. Now this next layer is a little hard to go on, a little harder to get on there straight because you're trying to put it over something that's wants to move around. So what we'll do to this one is just plop a little bit in sections, and maybe it'll be a little easier to do that way. I don't know. We'll have to just see. I am going to use a different spatula to do this because it's a little harder to do. It's a little harder to do with a bigger spatula. If you got a little flat edge spatula, it's going to be easier. Make sure you hold it with your pointer down and just kind of, you don't hold it flat and straight. You hold it at an angle. You put the pressure down with your pointer, and then you swirl and push. Yep, this is not a super easy one to spread. So it might take you a little longer than it takes me. Just take your time. And try your best to do a good job. Don't get in a hurry. And when you get over to the edge like that, if you don't think you got enough, kind of push it from the middle. That's why I put more in the middle, so I could push a little extra over from the middle if I needed to. You can tell where it's thicker because you can't see the pecans as good. So you should be able to tell where you can grab something and move it around from. Looks good to me. Let's just put a little swirl in it. I doubt it'll show when it bakes, but we'll do it just in case. Yum. All right, you're going to get this in the oven. It's going to bake at 325 degrees for 45 minutes. We're going to make a thin vanilla glaze to go over the top, and that's what makes it look so much like a honey bun when that glaze gets on there and glazes over just like a honey bun. And we're going to slide this in our oven. We'll see you guys in about 45 minutes. All right. For the icing, all you need is a cup of powdered sugar, and it's going to be a little thinner, 2 tablespoons of milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's all there is to it. No butter in it. You got 2 sticks of butter in the cake. And all you do is mix this up. And if your powdered sugar is lumpy like mine, you really need to give it a good beat with the side of your spoon or spatula to get those lumps out of there. And take a minute to stir it like this. It's going to take a couple of minutes to, or at least a full minute of beating to get all of that, those little lumps out of there. And if you want to sift your powdered sugar, you can. But you don't want the lumps all over the pretty honey bun cake. So do a good job. Now it's nice and creamy, and you don't see any lumps, and that's how you want it to look. Okay? You're just going to set this over to the side and wait on your cake to come out of the oven. Boy, it's going to be good, y'all. All right, y'all, it is ready, ready. I stuck something in it to see if it would come out clean, and it did. So here's our cake. We're going to go ahead and put our glaze on it while it's warm. And you just serve this cake right out of the pan. You glaze it while it's still warm, so it'll look like a honey bun when it cools down. It looks delish. I'm going to push some up on the edges to make it look shiny all over. This is one of my favorite cakes. I noticed on the recipe book, my little note, sometimes I put notes at the bottom of the recipes, and I said, this is the best cake ever. That was my note. And that's all there is to it. Does it look like a honey bun? It does to me. Y'all take a look up close at how much it does look just like a honey bun. Now this is really good served warm, y'all, with some coffee. Delicious honey bun cake. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get us a bite. It is so moist and delicious and buttery. Now that's a good cake. It's simple and easy to make. You can do it and you will be thrilled that you did. All right? We will see you next time on Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook for our honeys just like our mamas did. We'll see you next time. Y'all hit that like and subscribe button. Love ya. Bye.
Cooking time, it's over now. Tammy, she just showed you how to cook it up like Mama used to do.